Well, hello. Good morning. What are y'all doing? Just sitting here with this cool new gift I just got. It's a little toy. I don't know what I don't exactly know how to use it. I just got it. It's like a tubular bell or something. Let's see. Oh, oh, this will be fun. Oh, this would be really nice outside. Sounds like the chime trees. Well, this is too cool. Anyways, we'll play with that a little later. Maybe for now. Oh, I'm Zen. You're right there. You're you, whoever you are. What are you doing here? I know it's kind of early. It's Friday. Friday, 7:40 a.m. Just had a cup of coffee. I'm drinking a little bit of iced tea, and we'll get this Friday on the road here. The day started. Another beautiful day in New Orleans. I don't know, 75 today, perhaps. I don't know. I didn't look at the weather yet. But I do want to ask a couple questions, and it's about well, I'll give a couple reasons for things, and we'll discuss a couple ideas. And it's does anybody here think that humanity can be, I don't want to say redeemed, if you have to get redeemed by some Lord and Savior something concept. I just mean in the large sense of whatever this whole thing is. You want to call it the Matrix? You want to call it the world? I don't know, whatever the hell this thing is. Like, okay, we can't we collectively you cannot deny the collective is going through birthing pains, traumas beyond belief. And the funny thing is about the birthing pains includes a lot of people dying. Quite honestly, you can't deny the things that are going on in the world. I mean, that wouldn't. You can't play that subjective game. It's a very much objective reality of the things going on. So as a totality, where do we steer that? Can it be steered in the right direction? Because obviously, individually, there's plenty of people that are having what's up, Branson? Uh, Individually, there's plenty of people that are having just wonderful, splendid, groovy, great, grand, wonderful times. Plenty of people that living by the beach, living there. I mean, if that's where they want to live. Plenty of people living in the mountains that want to live there in a little cabin. Some people are out partying every day, doing whatever they want to do. People, individually, you can have as much glory and fun as you want. And if they say as above, so below, as within, so without. And then where does that translation come to the larger collective? Because just because someone is having fun doesn't mean they're being self-righteous or narcissistic or self-serving only, right? Plenty of people can play plenty of games with a lot of people, and everybody has a good time. But a small number of people that appear to be controlling the ebb and flow of information and what's going on and the larger reality. There's a small number of them. We don't even actually get to see them. You get to see the silly brain dead puppets, right? They're bad at acting, they're bad at everything, and they really think they're doing something. And it's like, are they evil? Are they misguided? Are they goofy? Do they have a brain? Are they walking around? I remember reading studied about people whenever they're going about their day. It said something like 50 to 70% of people walk through their day, and they said that they have no thoughts. Like, you ask somebody, what are you thinking about? They're literally not thinking about anything. Now, in the greatest way, that would be you have attained a sort of Zen Buddhism, a sort of a walking meditation, a that space of what the gurus would call a place of no mind, which is a really great place to be. But I think that the people they're talking about, they're empty of head. They're not playing a game. They're not poo bearing it. You ever read the Tao of Pooh? And the whole idea is Pooh goes through life in this very simple-minded way. Simple Jack, simple-minded, simple Pooh Bear, where nothing really bothers him too much. He takes life as it is offered to him, and he has a good old time. What's up, Burkett Turkeyman? So that their empty-mindedness that they walk around with 90, during their days. Well, they have jobs, they have other things they're doing. So there are times that they're going through some mental thought processes. There's some orders, there's some here's what the book says, here's the order of things, and they're still doing that, and they're not necessarily, I wouldn't call them, any of them, blissful people, because they have a glazed over look on their eyes, or they're bugged out, or there's something, right, there's not lights are on but nobody's home kind of people. So I wouldn't say they're in bliss, but I mean, we get where we're getting at here. There's some people who walk around like, you're not thinking anything, nothing at all. And it said the study, it said 50 to 70% of people are like that. Now, are you supposed to? I don't know how much more I can regulate any of my energy onto feeling sorry for people anymore. Now, let me get to. I know this seems like a joke, but the picture at the front of the thing, before you clicked on this, there was a picture, and it was maybe it didn't look like much to you, but it was a guy on a motorcycle that was about to just slide and go under this truck. And I want to talk about like the complete. It's a really, I mean, I can tell you why it happens, and the kind of people that would participate in such endeavors, riding a motorcycle at excessive speeds down a residential area and then blaming the driver. This is what we're getting at. So the guy's wearing a t-shirt, and he's got no gear to ride. He's clearly going faster than this speed limit, clearly. And there was a comment, so I'm watching the video and I'm like, okay, he's obviously. And the driver pulls out from a side street and immediately freezes because he doesn't. I mean, if you expect a bike to be even you don't really. The bike's behind something, you didn't see it. It's too far away. He's calculating based on 35 miles an hour in his head, not 70. So this truck starts to pull out and then stops, probably assuming the bike will go around in front of him. And they both make a pretty error in judgment, except for the bike had it was his job to make all of the choices. You can't expect somebody in a truck to make the choice for you because they can't see you. So it's like he wanted the truck to keep going, to go into an intersection where he could have T-boned a car because he was getting out in the intersection to take a left. Anyway, so this dude's doing like 70. You see him slide, just eat shit. Slides underneath the vehicle. I mean, he's like he walked away. He slid underneath the vehicle, and now he's walking back, and he's pissed. And he's like, "Why would you stop?" I'm like, and then I'm reading all of the comments, and the amount of people that were siding with the motorcyclist, that it was somehow the truck's fault, just makes me go, I can't even with people like you just try to explain it to them. Like, how did you expect the guy in the truck to even see or know that somebody might be coming down the street doing twice the speed limit with no gear on, blah blah blah? Like, okay, it was entirely the responsibility of the motorcyclists. Like, especially when you're going as fast as he was going. If he was going the speed limit, there would have been a little more fault on the. Anyway, so I can watch it, and then so already he's an idiot. So he's emotionally troubled. He's a little upset. I mean, you can make some wild assumptions on why people ride motorcycles to begin with. You know, you can't say them have somewhat of a death wish. They don't already have some sort of hey, everybody's got their problems, but generally speaking, because generalizations help with trying to figure this out here. So he's pissed anyways. Understandable. He just hurt himself, but it was his fault completely, 100%. And then reading the comments and the amount of people that were going, yeah, that was not his fault, and it was like, so like once you get to that point with talking to someone where you realize that's how their brain operates, and they're working out of emotion too. They're like, oh, you always blame the biker. He's like, there's people that were commenting. Here was the funny comments were, yeah, whenever I'm driving around, or I always see more people in trucks and cars driving like assholes than I do motorcyclists. I'm like, maybe because there's more trucks and cars on the street. How many motorcyclists do you see a day? What percentage? 2%. So if 98% of the things out there are trucks and cars, and the others 2, you would see a multiplicity of not good at math here, but the number of people driving trucks or cars that are driving like assholes will be more. But quantity-wise, there's no way you can say. There's no way in the world anybody would say the percentage-wise of people that drive trucks and cars are assholes versus the percentage of people driving motorcycles are assholes, without question. It's not even debatable. It's not even in the same. It's not even in the same fucking ballpark. Motorcycles always drive. Oh, let's cut through traffic here. Let's go right between this thing here, and then blame somebody that they hit their mirror. I mean, it's just people don't stand up the test of reason and logic, and I can't be emotionally involved or even talk to these people anymore. It's not. I don't think. I think everybody has the capacity to learn, to be a better person, to whatever. I think everybody is in that regard capable of altering their minds, their courses, their actions, their beliefs. I think everybody individually is. But I wonder, like, it just seems like the numbers are really not in our favor as humanity goes. Like this whole thing, this whole like, what are we on the sixth generation of humans? According to the Matrix and some other people, like the resets of civilization. Who knows? Maybe they're upgrading us every time. I don't know. But it seems like if you go through the procession of the equinoxes and the different eras, the gold age, the silver age, the bronze age, and then the iron age, uh, it seems like we just went from the golden age and right now we're in the iron age. Hopefully it seems like we're coming out of it. That would be that'd be nice. What would come next? The bronze? Hey, that'd be nice. But I think it just appears more and more like I don't think most people will make it or something. Because I mean, how bad did most people here? What's up, branches? Uh, where does the sky begin? The just where does the sky begin and where does the ground separate from the sky? I like the notion, but I think it's pretty clear where the sky begins and where the ground is. I mean, unless you're going to play the game, like where does the ocean start? Because it's always in motion and it's always kind of moving. How long is the coast? It's a fun game. Um, so yeah, so getting into where does humanity go as a society, as a species, as a totality? I think it must get better, but I don't think people really have grasped um, the thing that just happened 2 years ago, and everybody started like using needles. Everybody started using needles as a thing. I don't think most people have a real grasp on how that's going to play out. I don't think anybody has really got it through their heads of like what they've done systematically, however you like to divide this up into. So let's see. Okay, what are they doing with the monetary system? What are they doing with the housing? What are they doing with the cost of this? Okay. How many firing these employees, people within the health field losing jobs, da da da. Like everything's getting shuffled, mixed up, right? And the amount of people that let's talk about it this way. In every study that's ever done, you have to have a control group. So if you were saying to test out something, test out the efficacy of a substance, of a food product, or whatever, if you test that out, you have to go through those testing methods. It's a methodology, it's a scientific method. You have to have control groups. And when you start it, the control group is really big. There's only a small amount of people in the beginning of any test, which usually takes quite a long time to perform these, to get an adequate sample size of what's going on. This is just simply how it works. So when the beginning of the test starts, the amount of people that are consuming, whether let's test out how the efficacy of Arizona iced tea. There would be like, oh, I don't know, 5% of the people. If we got 100 people, we would give 5 people Arizona iced tea, and we'd give 95 of them nothing. We give them whatever whatever you'd want to use as control, water, saline solution, whatever. Yeah, and then you would divide up from the people that were in the control group, and the people that got it, then you would divide those up, saying, okay, these things happened, and let's go ahead and we'll take this larger 95 people, and we'll give 10 of them this thing, and out of the 5 people, we'll give 4 more of them that. So now the numbers are going up, but it's still in a proportion. And you're going to do that over a period of time. So as the experimentation goes on, the amount of people that receive the actual substance, because it's never going to get to 100%, never, because that's because then you get rid of the control group completely. And you can't have that happen. You got to have the control group sitting through the whole experiment. There'll be a tiny amount of control group through the whole experiment. But once you get there, let's say we'll get to an 80-20. 80% of people decided to participate in this experiment. 20% didn't. When you get to the end, those 80% that did, they're all going to have consumed whatever the iced tea. All right. So now we're gonna have to start from that point in time, not from the beginning, from the edge of the experiment, which would be maybe a couple years in. And then they're like, okay, now we have this many people that have. Then you're going to start to see the actual results on a mass scale. In mass, in a huge scale. It's because as you've gone through the experiment, the majority of your statistical work, the observational aspect will be towards the end, right? Only obvious. The beginning, you're collecting a little bit of data on a small number of things. You did all the legwork in the beginning because you mapped it out, like here's how we're going to do it, and then you go through it, and then at the end, towards the end of it, you're going to see results from the experiment. You build a house. Build a house. When do you see the house? When it's done. When you built it. Or any experiment's going to work the same way. So I don't think people are really. I don't think most people really have a good, keen awareness of the fallout. And I mean, on the lucky side for some people, if we can understand this, if they're already firing employees before Christmas, if they're already laying people off, if people are already losing their jobs at, like, say, hospitals and things, it means because they're not going to be needed. And why might they be needed? Because you'd have done, reduced the number of people or the amount of supply and demand. You're gonna change that. Check this thing out. Got this cool new toy. A little gift. You guys can hear that? It's got like a little wah-wah thing on it. It'd have been interesting if they had more than one, but maybe I'll drill another hole in it. It's kind of fresh. It really holds that too. Anyways, so yeah, so getting into the larger population, like what percentage? Okay, think about it this way. If you say you're testing a medical substance for someone's being sick or something, the majority of the population is already so fully, like, they have a horrible diet they have for a long time. They're probably on they probably have other sicknesses, other medications, other things that are going on. So to say, like, for me, it's a little strange, but it's also because I might take an Advil or Tylenol here and there. I eat some garbage sometimes, but majority. So I would be outcast. Like, I'm an outlier for this idea. Where most people, when you walk down the street, how many of them are on prescription drugs? How many of them continue to go to the doctor? How many of them continually need to fill prescriptions and do this and do that? How many of them for years are absolutely sick every year? How many of them, you know what I'm saying? So they're in a the mix is like that's not looking good, is what I'm saying. So they're like on the way out the door. There's no really good way to look at it. Like how many really truly anywhere in the health in like how many healthy people do you know? I'm not talking about people that go to the gym. I'm not talking about people that just do a vegetarian diet or something, whatever you believe the healthy thing is. I'm just saying like somewhat of a healthy lifestyle. They have, generally speaking, they're doing the 7 things that it take to be healthy. Well, one would be healthy relationships, healthy eating, uh, exercise, sunshine, grounding, lots of enough clean water, and I forget the 7th one. You guys can look it up. But there's not a lot. There's very few people. I don't even fit into that mix. Not currently. No, I don't. I wouldn't. I don't have those 7 things that I'm doing on a regular basis to, you know. So how's the vibes going? This one here. There we go. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. What's up, Will Brooks? You're 3 years into just meat and water. Yeah, I mean everybody's got a few paths they can go on for healthy choices. The meat and water is an interesting one. That whole I don't want to go into the diet things and why each one works for people and why some take a little while to develop the problems that they'll have. Like I've already covered the whole, why it takes a couple of years for the vegan thing to really not work out well for people. And the difference between how many people call themselves vegan when they're actually vegetarian or how many people that are on a meat diet are eating all of the fried fatty, like just a lot of really not so not what you want with meat. uh, there's reasons that people go through health changes, and so that's an interesting one. But yeah, yeah. I mean, once you increase that water intake, that's huge unto itself. Most people, because they're so dehydrated they've never cleansed their blood, they've never cleansed their organs. You could equally, um, you could look at most people and an increase in certain substances. First of all, the water, and then if you like, hey, maybe you were missing a lot of magnesium, and you're getting magnesium because you're eating pork or what. I don't know what's in what, but you know what I'm saying. There's there's some interesting things that once you change people's environment, their diet, whatever, health changes most of the time for the better. Yeah, yeah. Keep it simple. Mostly distilled. Yep. See, distilled is always been the way to go because people are so unhealthy. So everybody wants to drink spring water. Well, don't do that quite yet. It'll wait until you clean out your body. um, well, where are we at here? Okay, so individually, yes, we can save our. Remember that song, "Save Yourself." You can save your own soul. You can save yourself, and you can have your own wonderful, cool experience. But as a totality, it seems like there is, without question, obviously, um, the population is going to be very much reduced for a number of reasons. I mean, why it happened, all of this, and like, it doesn't. That's a little concern anymore because there's nothing you can do about it. All we can deal with it right now is if people say participated in some sort of whatever, and then they wanted to not have that. If they were drinking way too much of this Arizona iced tea, and they wanted to, and there's all this sugar, and there's some other weird things in here. Are there other weird things here? I don't know. If they got if they got too much. asulfame potassium and it's stuck in their organs, we're gonna have to find a way to clean that out, aren't we? So if we wanted to do that, they'd have to go through the process of doing that. Or the obvious response of the body will be like, okay, clogged up organs to catastrophic failure of components within the body. Do you know how many ways you can break your car? Do you know how many ways you can break your engine? Like you can say, okay, my engine broke, but your engine wasn't the root cause. Your filters are too dirty. Pick one of those filters. You don't change the oil, engine out of here. You got the air intake valves all whatever. You got the fuel injectors. You got all of the stuff that can go all wrong. Yeah, your brakes don't work, and all of a sudden you run into something. Well, you broke your engine, didn't you? So there's a lot of things you can do to actually break the engine of the car. So all of these things, like if we walk backwards through the disorders of the body, there's a way that the body tries to expel foreign matter out of it. And then you notice it. It's like, okay, I'm coughing right now. I got a little bit of a phlegmy thing going on. So I'm trying to get phlegm out. Okay, that's one way. Another is I can sweat, comes out my skin. Another way is it comes out my butthole. You know, there's all of these, the way your body expels things. And there's an order in which your body does that. So you can tell at some point if somebody has a problem with some aspect of their health, that you can see it and say, we can walk backwards and say, which organ do we have to fix, and how detrimental, how far are you like into being sick? Most sicknesses, they're pretty much fixed, as far as we can tell, through like what do you get? The phlegmy thing. So here, easily upchuck. You sweat. You ever get the sweat? Go outside, go sweat in the sun, and you'll smell it on you. You're going to expel it, and then you'll go through a couple more processes. Oh yeah, you'll poop it out. You poop it out. Yep. You do all of these things to expel things out of your body. we go the route of putting things into our body, such as deodorants, or inside of us that clog up our tubes. And then all of a sudden, we can't expel everything out of it. And once that happens, you could break your liver, break your kidneys, break your gallbladder, break your lungs, your heart. Pick one. That's gonna destroy the whole system. Take the whole system offline. So most people will not go the route of fixing those things because they don't see the path of nature and the path of here's a simple fix. You're not gonna like it because it's gonna include not eating. It's gonna include drinking more water. You don't even like water. It's gonna include going outside and walking around. You don't like to move. You know, so there's gonna be so many of those people in that boat that they just choose this, stay on the path and just go, well, I guess that's just what happens. So we'll be saying that this. I mean, I don't know how quickly you'll take note of it through the I don't know, the dinosaur media, the large mass media, and how much of it you'll find digging around online, and how much of it will crop up, and like where they get, they still, to calculate and correlate all the information and get it to anybody off of what the scientific research says. That's going to take a while anyways. So how quickly will you notice? Like how many people in your life have you already seen get incredibly sick out of nowhere? How many people have you seen? How many people in this room know somebody that is, I don't care, give me an age, whatever. I mean, we're not gonna, I've known probably through someone else. I've known of, I don't know how many. It's a grand number, and I'm talking about from people that were in their 30s to people that were later in life and already kind of sick. And you could just chalk that up to there was their time anyways. But there's other people that it's glaringly obvious that what occurred. So Where are we at here? Willie. uh, in your 50s, you can drive nails with your cock. Peace out, Will Brooks. Mm. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, man. Vitality, dude. Vitality is a huge, huge word. Most people aren't vital. They have no vitality. And they don't. I think it's because most people aren't into fixing things. They're not solution oriented, especially when it comes to the human body. Most people gave up on the idea that they had any impact or control over what's going on in the human body. Despite the fact that they're sitting here drinking their, as I'm having hot chocolate for breakfast with some coffee in it. They're gonna smoke their whatever, and they're gonna eat just trash. They're gonna be trash pandas. And then they don't have the wherewithal to even comprehend that putting that in here is causing problems in here, and you can fix that by doing something else like fasting and getting massage and cleaning out your organs and getting some this and that. And, you know, there's a bunch of things you can do. They don't know that. They're just like, oh, this pill will fix it, and they're not gonna just jump. They've been doing that their entire life, so they're not gonna jump off that train. Would make no sense to them. Even though everything's pointing to you see those pill companies, they're connected to the food companies. You know, they're like this, and that stuff's in there, and you're putting that into here. Check out. Wait, there's more Rick and Morty's out. Oh, dude, I totally. Well, I haven't. What is it on? What is it? Is it on HBO or Netflix or something like this? I didn't know they had new episodes. Cool. So it's on season 6 now or 7. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the piss thing is so funny to me, dude. The, the whole Shibambu piss, all of this. It's so fun. It's so funny how it comes into people's lives. Yeah, cool, cool, cool. That when you watch when you start watching movies and you realize the amount of little jokes they'll drop in movies, and not only movies that they'll drop jokes, but movies that will be 100% related to the fountain of youth and people pissing into a fountain and some sort of urine. It's always in there. I'm not saying always, always, but there's references. There's little like wink, wink, nod, nods about the piss. There's always something about the fountain of youth. There is, and so it's interesting when it's the closest, most obvious thing. What's up, Junie? It's the closest, most obvious thing to how would you go about, you know, on this body, and but it's the farthest thing away because that's disgusting. And then that whole conversation, we can eat your poop. Okay, fine, don't drink this. But there's plenty of clues. Plenty of clues. They've been dropping the huge clues. They even told you, dude, your boy, what the hell, Wiley Schmidt. You know Wiley. He did a whole series on news broadcasts that were all related to plasma. And you're sitting there looking at this bag of plasma. It's yellow. It goes through a centrifuge. It used to be blood. Your urine is called plasma ultrafiltrate. Your kidney is basically it's squeezing. It's using the not the same technology as spinning something around to break things apart. A centrifuge, using that force to divide things, and that water it comes out yellowish, like a hay color, doesn't it? But it's using a squeezing method, and then it takes the plasma, puts it into your bladder, and then you pee it out. So why do we give blood and we give plasma? If I go to the stores down here, they'll give us a lot of money for it. I'm giving blood, give plasma. They're turning them both into the same thing. They'll pay for it, and then right. What is that? You're telling me that's not urine? Mm. But except I can look into all of the medical journals and things, and it will tell you that the kidneys are a filtration device that give you plasma ultra filtrate, which is, in fact, your piss, which is the plasma that you see in all of these. Like, what are they putting in the body? What are they putting in someone else's body? I do this thing, and then they do this fancy. I put it through the spinny thing, and then we just divide this up this way, and then here, $6,000 later. Like, bro, you missed the point. You could have just here. Take this bottle, go to the bathroom, pee into it. Now drink it. It's disgusting. Okay, wait. Go in that bathroom, piss in a bottle, and give it to me. And I'm gonna go dump it into a plastic bag, and then I'm gonna stick a needle in your arm, and you're gonna lay down on the bed, and you're gonna say, "Well, thank you, doc." Or if you're even more confused, I'm gonna need you to sit down in this chair. Let me take your blood. Let me see all your blood up there. We're sucking it out of you. And then we're gonna give you a blood transfusion. Or we're gonna give you a plasma transfusion. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take your blood, I'm gonna take it back there, I'm gonna spin it around in this thing, and I'm gonna get this plasma out of it. And put that in the thing, I'm gonna sit you back down, and I'll put that back into you. What has happened? You added 4 steps to health. What is so difficult about this? Junie, no, I seen you. I guess you didn't hear me. You're not lurking. There's always lurkers in the background. Yeah, Brian said, yeah, the funniest and applicable to nearly every life situation. I mean, how often do we use, like, even the British? They always, you taking the piss, and then you got the. I mean, how many silly little jokes? Because it's like people always have the most like bizarre reaction to it. Like if they, oh, that's piss, man. Oh, that's disgusting, and it's like, well, not really, is it? Is it really? Is it really? I mean, it might be disgusting for you because it smells like fucking hot trash. Doctors back in the day, they used to actually taste people's urine to tell what was wrong with them. And you can tell by the color, the aroma, the taste, the color. You can tell your general health because it's gonna keep some of that that odor. I mean, your sweat's gonna smell like what you've been eating. Like right now, hold on, let me see what I smell like. Oh, I smell like trash. I smell like hot trash. Why? Because I ate like a burger, and now I'm drinking coffee in the morning. And I'm sweating a little bit. So I'm perspiring this burger, and what else did I eat? I ate chips and like all this stuff that I normally don't eat, but my body processes it pretty quickly and I can smell it. So if I go take a piss, it's probably going to smell like that. If I take a dump, oh, it was awful. Most people, they can't, their body is so torn and backed up. They're just going to put that deodorant on. They're just going to shower 6 times in a day. Just how it works. But how many ways can you say that? It's like, does it not just make sense when you say, hey, what do you think's happening with the yellow bag of fluid? Where do you think that came from? They didn't make that in a laboratory. That's not some old. How well do you guys hear that? Like when a duck deer, when I said a duck deer. Yeah, that's a cool animal, a duck deer. A buck tastes his doe's mate's urine to see if she is ready to mate. There you go. I mean, what do you think's happening if you eat pussy, I mean, as a dude, like you don't think there's naturally urine on, of, around, down in that general area code? I mean, I don't know. But why do all animals, animals sniff each other's their buttholes and their privates? Why? The butthole to see how healthy they are. Uh-huh. And and then the urine to see if they're mateable. So people get people make this so complicated. What would people do um, if it weren't for all of the other specialized institutions of what you'd call higher knowledge? If we got rid of the teachers at the gradient school and the high school and even the collegiate university student professors, you get rid of them as a classical institution in a big brick and mortar building. You say, what would how would I learn something? What would I do? You get rid of all. You get rid of the medical field that knows so well how the human body functions. You get rid of all these things. What would you go to? What would you do? How would you figure out who would be who would be the knowledge keeper of any of that? Because here's how you'd figure it out. Because it would work. It would have to, or else that person would not be. No one would go to them and trust them. They would. You wouldn't. Like we live in this institutionalized civilization that we trust people based upon how much money did we spend, how much money are they worth. You go to a good college, you trust that. I just paid $200,000 to go to this college. Of course, I'm like higher knowledge. But in the real world, get rid of all that money, and we say, can I apply what you're telling me to reality? Is this functional? And you're going to find out that it's a lot different than you think. What goes away? Do you think your friends at NASA are going to be employed anymore? Uh-uh. There'll be some. There are some highly intelligent scientific minds that are doing some great work, and they're probably doing a little bit of what they say with portals and other realms and all of this, and they got high technology for sure. I'm all for it. But a majority of them, uh, you think most doctors outside of people that are there for emergency, the people, you think the people handing out pills are going to be pharmaceutical reps? They're going to, no, they don't exist. Just the marketing agencies, are they going to be? That's not going to be important. Once again, I have to explain this to people. If you want to live in a real world, the things that the perception you have and the expectations you have, based upon how much financial, shiny, flashy, here, look at that, they must know. That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. Who do you think the most powerful creature in the jungle is? Well, it's that old beat up elephant, scars and bruised up and whatever. That thing went to battle. That's battle tested. The shiny little new, no, that ain't flying. The little tiger, that little lion, the king of the jungle, the lion, the king of the jungle. They lied to you. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work that way. So like, I mean, you can't. If everything became across the board, let's level playing fields here. Let's level the playing fields here. Um, Across the board, who is who's going to be valuable in society? Just get rid of the money thingy that causes what you'd call a leveraging of time, of labor, a leveraging of things. Get rid of that. and then who's actually going to be. Um, well, I'm glad we get lots of fun 69 fun sites. Yeah, it's 8 in the morning, y'all. At least wait till sundown. Hey, Junie said capstone pyramid. Hold on, where are we at here? Oops. What'd you say? The capstone pyramid bunch? Yeah, help me with that. What do you mean? You mean, are you talking about the corporation, capstone? Or are you talking about just this in general? Oh yeah, I mean in general, like who would be? I mean, who would be like? What kind of knowledge base would you? What kind of knowledge base? Like, what would be the cream that rises to the top? What would be the capstone? What would be those people? Never, not the ones that are there today. People do like living in a. I don't think they like it, like the delusional world, the goofy world. I don't think they like it per se. The whole ignorance is bliss. No, it's not. It's not ignorance the way they think people. I don't know if enough people. You know what the word ignorance means. I'm sure you guys do. I think it comes down to people are people know that if they take the knowledge that someone gives them and puts that into their life, it's going to change most everything of what they believe. It's going to change if someone's. I give this example often, and I'll try one more time. If someone's 32 years old and they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, some of it's their debt they took on, hundreds of thousands of dollars for medical school. Their parents spent a bunch of money on their medical school. That's what they're going to be, doctor. They're going to be all this, so they're making all this money. They have the access to resources and finances, big house, cool stuff. And then I give them a piece of knowledge that completely dismantles everything that they know. The whole thing just falls apart. Like everything they thought they knew goes away. Do you know how many people they're going to disappoint if they go, I can't do this anymore? Do you know how many people are going to be like, that's hundreds of thousands. They have debts to pay. They got loans. They got, their family will look at them like, what's wrong with you? Like the whole thing goes to shit. Who's going to pick that? So their ignorances are based out of usually economic and social reasons. No one wants to be ignorant. I mean, think about it. You'd have to live a life akin to how stupid mine is. In a lot of ways, nobody really. Do you want to? I don't. Where the fuck am I supposed to be? Uh, can I get a? What is? Where am I going to be next month? This kind of stuff. Do you want to do that? No, you don't. So do you want to have like literally just a lot of acquaintances and no friends because they are like, fuck you, you're like, what are you talking about? You drink piss, you're like an idiot. Like, oh, you think the earth is like this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, but I know so. I don't. What do you now I'm gonna have this guy, this chick, whatever, this doctor, this person that is making a cool $250,000 a year. Just I'm like, hey, give that up. Go do some other work. For what? There's no way you're right. And even if you are, who's giving up their social credit, their social units, bonding, their finances? No one. Simply said, how can you no, simply said, it's you can't teach a man to know something when his paycheck relies on him not knowing. Pretty simple. Hey, Junie, don't worry about the blocking, whatever. Who cares? What are you gonna do? It's just every time those things happen, it just reminds me of like how manipulated and controlled the system is. Even on here, like okay, okay, YouTube, you can block my channel from people finding it, but you can't somehow block, which is obvious that whatever. It's got 69, it's got X's, it's got all that right in the title. You can't just like make sure that doesn't show up because it's adding no value whatsoever. Am I getting paid off of that showing up here? I don't know. Find me a hot chick to put on the side here. Get me paid. I don't care. Put all those you want. But it's like that's not adding value. But uh, you can fix it so people can't find my channel. That everybody gets. This happens to everybody. If it says anything of any value, but that's okay. It's goofy. Well, where were we? So we've covered society at large, covered the small, and we covered the people being doctors and giving up their social and financial. Nobody's doing that. Yeah, it's like what? What do? What good is there to sell? What am I? What I mean, what am I selling that would put anybody in a more short term economically, short term socially quality situation? I don't have anything to sell. I mean, I do. I guess I have a pair of socks. Do you need a pair of socks? I'll give them to you. What do you want? I got I got some noodles. You hungry? You don't even got to buy them for me. I'll give them to you. So what I got? Got a backpack. What is that? What's that old koan? There was this old monk walking along a path one day, and a man came upon him and demanded his shoes. So he stands there, he gives the man his shoes, and staring off into the evening, the stars are twinkling and the moon is there. And he goes, man, only if I could pull that moon down and give it to him. Mm-hmm. So yeah, what else? What else you guys want to get into here? so so much fun. There's got to be. I'm gonna have to look up a how to play this because there's got to be something besides that noise. There's got to be other things to do here. I mean, obviously, I can. Maybe it's a big match. So much, such a fun noise. It's interesting instrument. Yeah, so fun. It's so funny. This is the simplest things. Simple instruments. Hmm. What else? What else? What else should I cover here? Oh, are you serious? Are you serious, dog? I would. What's funny? I would take you up on that today. Normally, I don't. I'd like, no, it's not. I would take you up on that because if you can't tell, I don't know if anybody can tell. Depending on the time of day and how many days it's been since I've made a show, you can do the math for yourself. I haven't had anything to drink in a few days. I've been just chilling, just relaxing and playing with the ducks. overfeeding myself. You know what I mean? It's the feasting, the fasting, the days of the week thing. Sometimes a Friday turns into a Monday morning, that kind of day. And then I'm like, oh, I'll take up. And sometimes I like to go out on Tuesday and Wednesday. It doesn't matter, it just changes. So yeah, it's Friday. Wouldn't mind going out. My finances are in a hilarious position right now. What are you gonna do? I've learned a few things. One is not there's not much use in worrying about things, and it's because of many reasons. But the major point is you don't know enough. Every time I think I'm intelligent or I know something, I don't know enough to be worried about something. I can't. And why compare myself? If on January 1st I'm in a mansion living in luxury, that'll be great. And if so happens it doesn't work out, then I'll deal with it then. Hey, I mean, I'll be Junie. I'll be here all day. I mean, not all day. I'm gonna whenever. So enjoy the cold room. I'm I'm at this place until I go outside, I guess, and play around in public. So who else up in here? Um, is anybody commenting? Because as soon as those fun with whatever these stupid things, as soon as they come in here, comments always get screwed up. So weird. Every time, every single time. It's like I'm wondering if you guys just think I'm not responding to you, but like, I don't have any other comments. So yeah, okay. What should I get into? What kind of motivation do I need? You guys want to do a fast with me? You want to do a Christmas fast? Anybody want to? Do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to start working out? You guys want to get really buff for Christmas? It only takes a little while to get. I mean, what? It's December 9th. It's only 2 weeks. 2 weeks, man. You get pretty strong in 2 weeks. Got to be focused. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe someone wants to lose some weight before Christmas. Hopefully everybody's. Let's get into this for a second, I guess. Or I could just start a new show. Maybe I'll do that. Here's what I'm gonna do. Whoever's here in the background, I'm just gonna call this a show. I'm gonna start this over because apparently comments are not working, and it also give other people an opportunity to know that I'm doing a show. So let me just meet you guys on the other side. Give me 5 minutes to reset this here. You guys know the rules in life. One, feel free to donate to me. That's number one. Actually, number one is take care of yourself because it's your life, it's your experience, and be weird. And if you have enough, then share it with other people and all that good stuff. Come back and see me in like 5 minutes. Sorry, because apparently the comments are screwed up or no one say anything. Either way, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.